I lost 40 pounds after menopause, and today I'm revealing 3 vitamins that directly target menopause weight gain. Not general wellness supplements, 3 specific nutrients that most women over 50 are critically low in without knowing it. Each one fixes a different piece of the puzzle. The first rebalances what menopause destroyed. The second clears the hormonal traffic jam in your liver that's locking fat around your belly. And the third, the one most women have never even been tested for, is the spark plug your metabolism has been missing. Skip one and the others can't do their job. That's why you need all 3. See this woman? This is one of my clients. Stay with me until the end and you'll have the complete roadmap to reset your metabolism like she did. Let me ask you something. When was the last time your doctor checked your vitamin D? Not your cholesterol, not your blood sugar, your vitamin D. Because mine never did. For almost 2 years, I was dragging myself through the day like I was carrying sandbags on my shoulders. I'd wake up at 7, and by 9:30, I was already counting the hours until I could crawl back into bed. My joints ached, my mood was all over the place. One minute I'd be fine, the next I'd be crying over a cereal commercial. I blamed menopause, I blamed my thyroid, I blamed getting older. Then I went to a new doctor, a woman in her 60s who actually listened, and the first thing she ordered was a full vitamin panel. When the results came back, she looked at me and said, "Your vitamin D is on the floor." I remember thinking, that's it? That's the big reveal? A vitamin? But what she explained next completely changed how I understood my own body. Your body doesn't treat vitamin D the way it treats other vitamins. It treats it like a hormone. And when that hormone is missing, it's not just your bones that suffer, your entire metabolic system starts misfiring. Think of vitamin D as the conductor of an orchestra. When the conductor walks off stage, the musicians don't stop playing, they just stop playing together. That's what happens inside your body. Your thyroid slows down, your insulin response gets sloppy, your estrogen, the little bit you still have after menopause, can't do its job properly. And your body's response to all that confusion? Store fat, specifically around your belly, because belly fat is your body's emergency savings account. And when your hormones are panicking, your body starts hoarding. Here's the part that made me furious. Nearly 7 out of 10 women over 50 are walking around deficient in this nutrient. 7 out of 10. And most of them have no idea because the symptoms look exactly like menopause. The exhaustion? Could be low vitamin D. The mood swings could be low vitamin D. That stubborn weight around your middle that won't move no matter what you do? You guessed it. And because the symptoms overlap so perfectly, millions of women are being told that's just menopause when it's actually a fixable deficiency. And this isn't just me saying it. A team led by Dr. Schmidt at the University of Campinas in Brazil studied 463 postmenopausal women ages 45 to 75 and published their findings in Maturitas, one of the leading menopause journals. Women whose vitamin D levels were below 30 were almost twice as likely to have metabolic syndrome. That's the combination of visceral fat around your organs, rising blood sugar, and insulin resistance all happening at once, twice the risk. And it had nothing to do with how much they exercised or how much they weighed. Their bodies were simply missing the one thing that keeps the whole system running. Now, here's where it gets personal. I was spending 2 hours a week in my garden. I live in a place with decent sun. I thought there was no way I could be deficient. But after 50, your skin loses the ability to produce vitamin D efficiently. It's like trying to charge your phone with a cable that's half broken. The connection is there, but barely. You could spend all day outdoors and still come up short. The fix isn't complicated, but most women get it wrong. You want D3, not D2. D3 is the form your body actually recognizes. D2 is the cheap version they throw into fortified foods and it barely moves the needle. Most women our age need somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 international units a day. But honestly, get tested first, don't guess. My levels were so low, I needed 4,000 units for the first 3 months just to get back to normal range. And here's the trick nobody told me. Vitamin D is fat soluble. That means if you take it on an empty stomach, you're wasting half of it. I was popping my supplement with my morning coffee for months, just flushing money down the drain. Now I take it with breakfast, always with something that has fat in it, some avocado, a handful of almonds, even just a drizzle of olive oil on toast. Absorption goes up dramatically. And if you want to take it even further, pair your D3 with vitamin K2. K2 tells your body where to send the calcium that D3 helps absorb. Without K2, that calcium can end up in your arteries instead of your bones. Not good. Within about 3 weeks of getting my levels up, the brain fog started lifting. I stopped needing a nap at 2 in the afternoon. My mood evened out, and after about 10 weeks, I noticed my clothes fitting differently. Not dramatically, but enough to keep going. So that's step 1. Your hormones finally have the conductor back on stage. But here's where most women stall because there's a bottleneck they don't even know exists. All that estrogen floating around in your system, it needs to be processed and cleared out. And if the organ responsible for that job is overwhelmed, it doesn't matter how much vitamin D you take. The fat stays locked in place. The organ I'm talking about is your liver, and the nutrient it desperately needs is one you've probably never thought twice about. I used to think 3 in the afternoon was just my body's way of telling me that day was over. Every single day, like clockwork, my brain would shut off, not gradually, like someone flipped a switch. I'd be sitting at my desk, trying to focus, and suddenly the only thought in my head was food, not healthy food. Bread, chocolate, those little butter cookies my neighbor brings over. I'd eat 1, then 3, then half the box. Then I'd feel disgusting and tell myself tomorrow would be different. Tomorrow was never different. I thought it was willpower. I thought I was weak. Turns out my liver was drowning. Here's something that blew my mind when I finally understood it. During menopause, your body doesn't just stop producing estrogen. It produces different types of estrogen, and some of them are harmful if they hang around too long. Your liver is the organ responsible for breaking these estrogen byproducts down and flushing them out. But your liver needs specific tools to do that job. And the most important tool in the kit is vitamin B6. When B6 runs low, and it does in a lot of women our age, those toxic estrogen metabolites start piling up. They circulate through your bloodstream, and they send a very clear signal to your fat cells: expand. Specifically the fat cells around your midsection. It's not random, it's targeted. Your belly fat grows because your liver can't keep up with the cleanup. But that's only half the story. Hey, I'm Claudia. At 52, I gained 15 pounds in 6 months, despite eating less and exercising more. I was exhausted, my clothes didn't fit, and everywhere I looked there was conflicting advice about menopause. I felt like I was losing myself. So I created Fit Over 40, a fitness and nutrition community built by a menopausal woman for menopausal women, because we deserve real answers, not guesswork. Inside, you'll get meal plans designed for shifting hormones so you can finally lose that stubborn belly fat. A community of women who actually understand what you're going through. And it's working. Women in our community are losing 10 to 15 pounds in their first 8 weeks. Lifting weights they never thought possible, and sleeping through the night again. Whether you've never touched a weight or you're getting back into fitness, you belong here. Click the link below or open your phone camera and hold it over this QR code. It will take you straight to our community page. You don't have to figure this out alone anymore. I'll see you inside. B6 is also the raw material your brain needs to produce serotonin and dopamine. Those are the chemicals that make you feel satisfied after a meal, that make you feel calm, that make you feel like yourself. When they're low, you get the cravings, the emotional eating, that hollow feeling at 3 in the afternoon where nothing sounds good except sugar. I wasn't weak. My brain was literally running out of the chemicals it needed to function, and it was screaming at me to find a quick fix. Sugar is the quickest fix your brain knows. There's another piece to this that most people completely miss. After menopause, holding on to muscle becomes a survival skill. Muscle is what keeps your metabolism running. It's what burns calories, even when you're sitting on the couch watching television. But here's the catch. Your body needs B6 to properly use the protein you eat. Without it, that chicken breast you had for dinner, your body can't fully convert it into muscle tissue. The protein just passes through. You're eating right, but getting nothing from it. Less muscle means a slower metabolism. A slower metabolism means more fat storage, and the cycle just keeps feeding itself. Even the carbohydrates you eat depend on B6. This vitamin helps convert stored carbs into energy your cells can actually burn. Without enough of it, those carbs just sit there. They don't get used. They get stored. And where do they get stored? I think you already know the answer. Now here's the frustrating part. Even if you eat perfectly, getting enough B6 from food alone is tough after 50. Heat destroys roughly half the B6 in anything you cook. So that salmon you grilled, it started with a decent amount, but by the time it hit your plate, a lot of it was gone. Add in the digestive issues that come with age, slower absorption, less stomach acid, and you're fighting an uphill battle just to get the basics covered. If you decide to supplement, and I think most women over 50 should at least consider it, there's one detail that changes everything. Most cheap supplements use a form called pyridoxine. Your liver has to convert that into the active form before your body can use it. And remember, your liver is already maxed out processing hormonal changes, so you're giving it more work when it's already behind. Instead, look for pyridoxal 5-phosphate on the label. That's the active form. Your body can use it immediately, no extra conversion, no wasted effort. I take about 25 milligrams every morning with breakfast. Some women need up to 50 milligrams, depending on how deficient they are. Always with food because it can upset your stomach otherwise. And take it in the morning. B6 can give you a noticeable energy lift, which is great at 7 in the morning and terrible at 10 at night. Within about 2 weeks, the afternoon crashes stopped. I stopped reaching for cookies every time the clock hit mid-afternoon. I actually felt full after meals for the first time in years. My liver was finally catching up. So now you've got the conductor back on stage with vitamin D and the cleanup crew working again with B6. Your hormones are balancing. Your liver is detoxifying. Your cravings are fading. But none of it matters if your cells don't have the power to actually burn fat. It's like having every tool in the toolbox, but no electricity to run them. And the energy source your cells have been begging for? Most women our age are critically low in it without ever realizing it. What I'm about to tell you next was the single biggest shift I felt in my entire journey. If you're finding value in this so far, please take a second to hit the like button. It's a small thing, but it helps this video reach other women who might need to hear exactly this. I want you to think about how you feel when you wake up in the morning. Not on a good day, on a regular Tuesday. Do you feel rested, energized, ready to go? Or do you feel like you slept for 8 hours and somehow woke up more tired than when you went to bed? Because that was me every single morning for longer than I want to admit. I'd open my eyes and think, already? It can't be morning already. I'd hit snooze 3-4 times. I'd finally drag myself to the kitchen, make coffee, and by the time I sat down, I was already thinking about when I could go back to sleep. My husband would look at me and say, maybe you need more iron. My friend said, maybe it's your thyroid. My doctor said, well, you are going through menopause. None of them were right. It was B12, and fixing it felt like someone turned the lights on in a house I'd been stumbling through in the dark. After you turn 50, your stomach starts producing less acid. It sounds like a small thing, but it's massive. Stomach acid is what breaks B12 free from the food you eat so your body can absorb it. Less acid means less absorption. You could eat the most B12-rich diet on the planet, liver every night, sardines for lunch, and still be deficient because your gut simply can't extract it anymore. Nearly 4 out of 10 women over 50 have this problem, and most of them have no clue because the symptoms creep in so slowly that you just adapt. You stop expecting to feel good. You start thinking exhaustion is just how life is now. It's not. B12 is what your cells use to convert stored fat into usable energy. Without it, fat just sits there. Your body has fuel in the tank, but no way to light it. That's why you can eat less, exercise more, and still see nothing change. The machinery is there, the raw materials are there, but the ignition is missing. And there's real science behind this. Dr. Choi and his team in South Korea tracked 926 older adults for 2 full years. They published it in the journal Nutrients in 2023. What they found was jaw-dropping. Women with low B12 were almost 4 times more likely to develop sarcopenia, which is the medical term for losing muscle mass as you age. 4 times! And here's what made this study so unique. It only happened in women. Men with the same low B12 showed no increased risk. The researchers believe that once estradiol drops during menopause, low B12 does even more damage to the nerves that keep your muscles working. Less muscle, slower metabolism, more belly fat. It's all connected, and it gets worse when you factor in stress. Menopause cranks up your cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol is the signal that tells your body to hold on to belly fat at all costs. It's a survival mechanism left over from thousands of years ago when stress meant famine or danger. Your body doesn't know the difference between a lion chasing you and a bad night's sleep followed by a stressful commute. It just sees cortisol and thinks, we're in trouble, store everything. Your adrenal glands need B12 to regulate that cortisol response. When they don't have it, they overreact. More cortisol, more belly fat, a loop that feeds itself until you break it. There's one more connection that ties this all together. B12 builds your red blood cells. Red blood cells carry oxygen, and oxygen is literally the fuel your body uses to burn fat. When B12 is low, you produce fewer red blood cells, which means less oxygen reaching your tissues, which means your body physically cannot burn fat efficiently. You feel it as tiredness, as workouts that feel impossibly hard, as that heavy, sluggish feeling that won't go away no matter how much sleep you get. It's not laziness, it's biology. Now, your absorption is the key issue with B12, and this is where a lot of women waste their money. Standard pills rely on your digestive system to do the work, and we already talked about why that's a problem after 50. Sublingual tablets are better. They dissolve under your tongue and go straight into your bloodstream, no digestion needed. If you're seriously deficient, injections are the most effective option. Talk to your doctor about that. For daily maintenance, most women our age need between 500 and 1,000 micrograms. If you've been deficient for a while, you might need more at first to rebuild your stores. And here's the important part. Look at the label. You want methylcobalamin or adenosylcobalamin. Those are the forms your body actually uses. The cheap synthetic version, cyanocobalamin, requires extra processing that your body may not handle well at this stage. I started with sublingual tablets. Within 10 days, something shifted. I stopped hitting snooze. I actually wanted to get out of bed. By week 3, I had energy at 4 in the afternoon that I hadn't felt in years. Now your hormones are balanced, your liver's clean, your cells are fueled. But all of that chemistry needs a physical trigger to actually mobilize the fat. Without this last piece, your vitamins are doing their job at maybe half efficiency. What I'm about to show you is one movement, one simple movement that activates the largest muscles in your body and tells your metabolism to start burning everything those 3 vitamins just unlocked. I avoided squats for years. I avoided them because my knees hurt, because I thought they were for gym people, for women in their 20s wearing matching outfits and filming themselves. That wasn't me. I could barely get off the toilet without grabbing the counter some mornings. The idea of doing squats felt like a joke. But here's what nobody explained to me until it was almost too late. After menopause, you lose muscle faster than at any other point in your life. And the muscles in your legs, your glutes, your quadriceps, your hamstrings, those are the biggest muscles in your entire body. They're your metabolic furnace. When they're strong, they burn calories around the clock, even while you're sleeping. When they shrink, your metabolism shrinks with them. and no amount of walking or arm exercises can compensate for losing your biggest calorie-burning engines. The squat works because it hits all three of those muscle groups at once. One movement, not a complicated routine, not a 45-minute gym session. One movement that sends a signal to your body: build muscle here, burn fat everywhere. And you don't need to start heavy. You don't need to start impressive. I started with chair squats, literally standing up from a chair and sitting back down, 10 times. That was my workout. My legs shook, I was out of breath, and I felt ridiculous. But I showed up the next day and did 10 more, then 12, then 15 without the chair. Within 6 weeks, I was doing 20 body weight squats without stopping, and my legs felt like they belonged to a different person. If your knees bother you, start exactly where I started. A sturdy chair, feet shoulder-width apart, stand up slowly, sit back down slowly. Control is everything. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're rebuilding the foundation your metabolism runs on. As you get stronger, ditch the chair, go deeper, add a pause at the bottom. Eventually, if you want, hold a water bottle or a small weight. But the body weight version alone is powerful enough to change your body composition noticeably within 2 months. Do 5 minutes a day. That's it. 5 minutes. Morning or evening, doesn't matter. What matters is consistency. Show up every day. Your muscles will adapt, your metabolism will respond, and combined with the 3 vitamins, you're giving your body every tool it needs to start releasing that stubborn belly fat. So here's your complete plan. Vitamin D to restore the hormonal balance menopause stripped away and wake up a metabolism that's been asleep for years. B6 to clear the estrogen backup in your liver and end those brutal afternoon crashes and cravings. B12 to fuel your cells with the energy they need to actually burn stored fat instead of just sitting on it. And the squat to activate your biggest muscles and tell your body it's time to use all of that work. This isn't about perfection. It's about giving your body what it's been missing. I spent years blaming myself for something that was never my fault. My body wasn't broken, it was starving for 3 specific nutrients and 1 signal that said it was safe to let go of the fat. That's what this protocol gives you. Start with 1. Get your vitamin D tested this week. Add B6 and B12 next week. Do 10 chair squats tomorrow morning. You don't need to overhaul your entire life by Friday, you just need to start. And I promise you, your body will respond. It's been waiting for this.